Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports. We've got one game left in Week 10, the Packers versus the Eagles playing in Green Bay, and this one is pretty simple. I'm sure a lot of the plays that I'm covering are plays that are already on your guys' radar, but we're going to break them down anyway so we can get into the details. I've got 4 plays on Prizepicks, and actually we're going to break down 5 total if you wanted to take the 5th one as well. But I'm making a 5-man ladder slip, which usually on single game slates I'm not as excited, but in this case we're getting all of the players that we want to potentially hit 1,000x on a ladder slip for this single game slate that we've got. So we're going to talk about the weather a little bit, and we're going to break down the over under, but here are the plays that I'm liking. Like I said, this is pretty simple, like straightforward approach. We're going to go Christian Watson over his yards, and I like the yardage on all these versus the receptions, but we're going to go Christian Watson, 40.5 receiving yards on Prizepicks. A.J. Brown, 56.5 receiving yards. DeVonta Smith, 52.5 receiving yards. And Romeo Doubs. So all wide receivers. This is like the most basic Prizepick slip I've made in a minute. But this is just what makes sense to me. It's pretty cut and dry on tonight's game. And then for the ladder slip, we're going to go Saquon Barkley rushing yards, which is another play that you could add if you wanted to, or mix and match in here. I like his rushing yards tonight. A.J. Brown, we're going to do receiving yards. DeVonta Smith, pretty much the same thing. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. If you're unfamiliar with ladders, it's my favorite thing at this point. What they do is you have 3 different tiers on the slip. As they all hit their like low tier, which is kind of like a goblin play, you get locked in for 2.5x. If they all hit their mid tier, which is like their regular line, then you get 10x. And then if they all have good games, if this turns into a shootout, which is, it's football, so we don't know if that's going to happen or not. But if they do, it jumps all the way up to 1,000x. And so there's no other platform that you can get this kind of a multiplier, especially on a single game slate. I promise you, there's no combination you can make on Prizepicks to get to 1,000x in this game. But you can on Underdog. So these tiers for these guys, Saquon, we got 60 yards, 77 yards, and 140. So even the high line isn't that crazy. A.J. Brown, we got 40, 58, and 110. DeVonta Smith, 40, 56, 55, my bad, and 110. And then Romeo Doubs, 40, 55, 110, same as DeVonta. And then Christian Watson has a nice low line, 25, 41, and 100 yards. So yeah, these guys would all have to have great games. This would have to be a dynamite game. Maybe we'll get that, but is it worth a chance on cashing 1,000x if it turns into a great game? I think it is. So if you guys want to jump on Underdog and play games like ladders and streaks, use code BACKDOOR. They're going to give you $100 in bonus funds when you play your first 5. It's a killer platform. Check that out. And then if you guys want to jump on Chalkboard, another killer platform, a free pick and 100% deposit match when you use code BACKDOOR. So let's start breaking all this down. If you guys could do me a favor and like the video, helps out a lot. I know most of you are just like, I'm just going to watch, but if you click that little button, it really does help a lot. So I appreciate it. All right. So weather, pretty simple, slight chance of snow. I actually like when there's a little bit of weather like this. We were kind of teased a little bit in the Buffalo game, and that didn't turn into anything as well. But we do have to pay a little bit of attention to the wind gusts. 17 miles an hour or so is what it could get up to with some of these gusts, which shouldn't be too crazy. Usually when it's up above 20, we pay more attention. But in this case, we'll see. Probably not going to be any snow, and probably won't be too windy. But it's the weather, so you just never know what could happen. But over under, we got a 45.5 point over under. And we've got the Packers favored by 1.5 playing in Green Bay, like we said. So not the lowest over under, but also they're not projecting it to be super high. I hope we eclipse this 45.5 points, obviously. All right, so Christian Watson. So he's looked great since he's returned. He's another player who's just been kind of injured a lot in his career, but he does look really good, and he jumped right into, like, I was kind of honestly sort of writing him off. I was just like, this dude's always injured. They went and they got Matthew Golden, and so I thought the writing was on the wall, but he came back and he was like looking really good. Honestly, he looks a lot like Alec Pierce. If he could just stay healthy like Alec Pierce, he's a very similar archetype, like good contested catch, big bodied, fast for his size, and his average yards per catch is usually pretty solid. So if we look at the 2 games in 2025, we got 85 yards and 58 yards against Pittsburgh and Carolina. The average yards per catch, right up there with Alec Pierce, 25.2. He averaged 21-ish yards against Pittsburgh, then 29. Now, he doesn't get a whole lot of volume. His longest reception was 33 against Pittsburgh and then 52, so he can catch those deep bombs. But yeah, targets, I mean, he had 4 targets against Pittsburgh, pulled down all 4 of them, and then 4 targets against Carolina. So he put up that yardage, 58 yards and 2 catches, and that's what we're looking for with this. We do have Dontavian Wicks is, I believe, let's double check. I think he might be out for this game. It's kind of interesting. Jair Alexander, who got traded to the Ravens and then got traded to the Eagles. This would be somewhat of a revenge game for him, but he's out as well. So that actually loosens things up in the pass game a little bit. Let's take a look here. So Matthew Golden is questionable with the shoulder. So he's questionable. And obviously Tucker Kraft is on injured reserve, who was a big part of their pass game. So it is significant that he's not there right now. Jaden Reed still on injured reserve. We know that. Dontavian Wicks questionable. So Dontavian Wicks and Matthew Golden are going into this questionable. We'll see if they end up playing. But we do know that Christian Watson did jump right into a pretty healthy share of the targets. And that's just the way Green Bay goes. They don't have anybody who's just like a JSN or a Malik Neighbors type. Like that's not the way they do things out there. Kind of frustrating for fantasy purposes, but this is an exception because he can put up a lot on just a few catches. If we take a look here at what wide receivers have done recently against Philly, they've shut down some guys, but we've got like this game against the Giants, so that's not like something we have to pay too much attention to. Wan'Dale Robinson almost hit his line. Little Jordan Humphrey, okay, it doesn't mean anything. Darius Slayton, who just popped off yesterday, had a great game. That was a missed opportunity. Dude went nuts, but yeah, he didn't cash his line. Justin Jefferson, this carries a little bit more weight. They did a good job stopping the wide receiver one. He only went for 79 yards when his line was at 79.5. Jordan Addison 8 in that game though, 128 when his line was at 46.5. So they were able to get to them. And then Jalen Naylor in the same game, who's also had a great week on Sunday yesterday. 15.5 was his line. He went for 37. And then back here, we got another example against the Giants, I guess. Wan'Dale Robinson back on in early October. He went for 84 when his line was 43.5. And then Jalen Hyatt, 17. Man, Jalen Hyatt, I was expecting a lot more from him. He kind of just fell off the radar this season. All right, so Romeo Doubs. Hang on one second because Outlier has actually got this on the Goblin. We got this at 53.5. All right. So yeah, he still cleared it 4 out of his last 5 games. The game against Pittsburgh where he didn't get it done, he still went for 44, so he was knocking on the door. Coming off this great game against Carolina with 91 yards. The matchup here, which I didn't cover for Christian Watson, but it's the same matchup against Philly. Overall, they're ranked 15th in receiving yards allowed. 225-ish is what they're allowing teams, like any given team, to put up against them through the air. To wide receivers specifically, it's even softer. They're ranked 23rd, so 157 of those yards are wide receivers just getting it done, which is pretty solid. It's not the worst, but you're on the lower side of stopping teams. Let's see here. Let's go down here real quick. Now, this is honestly just a situation where I think that like these two guys are going to be involved. I think that they're going to be the top targets here. Given the situation with Matthew Golden. Now we never know because we talked, that's what I thought about Kyle Monungai. I thought like, okay, DeAndre Swift, they're saying they got to protect him from himself and all this stuff. And then DeAndre Swift was getting all the work yesterday. So I totally missed that one. I'll take that. And that just happens sometimes. And the coaches aren't just trying to confuse us. They're trying to confuse their opponents on like, oh yeah, we're probably not going to play that guy. He needs to be, and then it's like, oh, it turns out he's getting everything. So we got to remember stuff like that does happen. We just broke down the wide receivers actually for Christian Watson. So honestly, let's take a look here. So the head-to-head, I don't think it looks great. This is from last season, a little bit of postseason as well. But this situation is different right now. And dude has been hot. Let's look at what his targets have been. So he had 10 targets in that last game against Carolina. And he pulled down 7 of them. Yeah, he's been getting, at least 6 targets in 5 straight games. So that's like all you can really ask for with Green Bay because of the way that their offense operates. So go with your gut. Doubs is someone who's not going to get like a ton of yards per catch, but he will get peppered. And he is capable of the big play. He's actually a lot more physical than he looks. He's a solid contested catch. He's a solid red zone target for him, I believe. Let's double check. Yeah, just behind Tucker Kraft, who's not in. So if you want to look at the fantasy score, you could. In case you guys do want to look at that, let's just look at the TD matchup. So he hasn't gotten a ton of TDs as of late. He had 3 against Dallas, but that's Dallas. So yeah, somewhat of a tough matchup as far as touchdowns go. Ranked 4th in touchdowns allowed to wide receivers, averaging about a half a touchdown a game. So yeah, like I said, this is pretty cut and dry. I think that it's going to be the receiving yards are going to be the most consistent option. I think it's against both teams. So let's move on here. So DeVonta Smith. All right. So yeah, 3 out of his last 5 games, he's gotten it done. And then the one he missed against the Giants, he still went for 49. Now we know in this last game against the Giants, I believe that's the game. Let me just double check real quick. If we go over here to AJ Brown, because yeah, so AJ Brown, I don't think. Let me see here. Yeah, AJ Brown was not in that game. AJ Brown had a great game against Minnesota. So did DeVonta Smith, and then I'm pretty sure Brown actually. Yeah, he didn't play that next game. He was dealing with a hamstring situation, and so they kept him out for that game. Then they had their bye week, so AJ Brown's had plenty of time to get his hamstring right. But you can see that these guys are both capable of eating. And that matchup, when we went into that, we weren't even liking the matchup. They're ranked 10th. The Vikings are ranked 10th in receiving yards allowed. So, and then they just went and totally exposed them. So, this line at 52.5-ish, I think we probably got it for a little bit more than that. Let's just double check. 52.5. Okay, so we got that exact line. I like it. I like the upside for all of these guys. I think these lines are too low, and it's football. So once again, you could be in a situation where it's just like, yeah, this was just like a really low scoring game, and no one really did much. And it was just defense the whole time, even when you're not really expecting it to be that way. But that's football, man. These are all still professionals who can put it together real quick. Look at what Miami's been doing as of late. Look at what they just did to Buffalo, and they've been sort of the laughing stock of the first half of the season. So you got to keep that in mind when you're thinking about like projecting the way these games are going to go. The matchup, though, Green Bay is 11th in receiving yards allowed, about 213. And I think some of that is kind of similar to the Texans, where like the pace of play, Green Bay, just like the Texans, are capable of having an explosive offense, but they're also sort of like very oriented with like game management, slowing the game down. So I think that plays into this a little bit as well. Receiving yards, 2 wide receivers, they're ranked 16th, so middle of the road, about 140 is what they're allowing through the air. If we look at DeVonta, so 3 out of his last 5 games, he's had at least 9 targets. Now, we just said one of those was without AJ Brown, but the game against Minnesota, he had 11 targets when him and Brown were both just eating. So that's what we're hoping for tonight. Is that type of a game. Let's look at what some of these wide receivers have done. So Xavier Legette beat his line. It was a low line though, so he cashed it by hitting 22, and his line was at 20.5. So beyond that Carolina game, it's been pretty solid. So DK Metcalf beat his line. Calvin Austin beat his line in the same game. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison went for 58 when his line was 50.5. Zay Jones had a great game in that matchup. His line was at 17.5. He went for 67. And Michael Wilson beat his line as well. So we're looking at this situation where 3 different wide receivers were able to beat their lines in the same game. And then Jamar Chase, not super surprising, he beat his line. He went for 94. So we have a pretty solid history here recently. A lot of wide receivers cashing in this matchup. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is pretty simple breakdown this week, or for this game. So AJ Brown, we do have to consider the fact that he is coming off the injury, the hamstring that kept him out for 1 game, but he has had 2 weeks to recover. He's got no injury designation going into this game, and he's coming off of his best game of the season last time he played. So he went for 121 yards in that game against Minnesota. That was just incredible, because I don't think anyone thought that was going to be their approach, is like, we're just going to dominate you through the air. That's not what I thought was going to happen anyways. If we look at the look at the targets, he doesn't need a whole lot to get there. If we look at his average yards per reception in that game, his average catch was 30 yards. That is crazy. Let's see his longest. So he's got 3 different games out of his last 5 where he's had at least a 30-yard catch. He had a 45-yarder in that game against Minnesota. We already know that the matchup is middle of the road. I like this. And like I said, I'm rarely this excited for a ladders play on a single game slate, but this feels like we could get there tonight. At least, we just want to secure at least that 2.5x. If we hit that 10x, we're happy. Obviously, if we all cash a 1000x on a single game slate on Monday night, it's going to be a really good week, guys. So as far as target share, he's right up there with DeVonta Smith. So we're taking their 2 best guys and not overcomplicating this. About 24% of the target share. And some of that, they're going off of overall targets. So some of that is time that he's missed. So if he played that game against the Giants, he'd probably be the target leader because he'd probably have at least 4 more targets, I'm guessing, and be right up there with them. So this is a very evenly balanced approach. All right, let's wrap it up by talking about Saquon here. So look at this head-to-head. And again, you don't have to take all the plays that I'm taking. I lock them into a slip so I can track what was on the video, but I mix these up and I put them in different slips and stuff too. So you guys should be doing the same. Just take the ones you like. But yeah, back-to-back head-to-head matchups against Green Bay, going for 109 or more. So, and again, these are both from last year, but that's pretty consistent if you eclipse 100 yards both times. We just saw Rico Dowdle last week really have a solid game against them as well when the Panthers upset them and got that win. So rushing yards allowed, they are on paper tough. They're ranked second, about 89.4. Is what they're allowing. To running back specifically, 79.9. So about 80 yards a game is what they're allowing to any given running back. If we look at what Saquon's been doing this season, the running game hasn't really been there. It's been kind of weird, but we've also seen them accelerating in their passing game as well. But he is coming off of this huge bounce back against the Giants. I guess that is his last game. 150. He went for 150. I think he got a couple touchdowns in that as well. You have a typical Saquon game. Yeah, like 2 touchdowns. So pretty solid. Head to head, man, that first matchup against Green Bay, he had 3 touchdowns. What a massive game. So yeah, take this if you want. But I think this line, so it's at 79.5. I think we got it for less than that on Prizepicks. Let's just take a look and see what they're saying Prizepicks has it at right now. 76.5 is what Prizepicks currently has it at. So it was pulling up the demon or something. But let's look at what other running backs have done. So yeah, Rico Dowdle went for 130. His line was at 49.5. You have Jalen Warren beat his line. Kenneth Gainwell in the same game beat his line. Bam Knight beat his line when the Cardinals were getting things done there. 34.5 was his line. He went for 57. Samaje Perine, his line was low, but he still cashed. So we got a decent amount of green in this particular matchup. So yeah, I feel like all of these guys have the potential. If Saquon and DeVonta Smith and AJ Brown all hit their top tier, that's going to be crazy, and it'll be worth Underdog giving us all 1000x. But it's not impossible, so that's what we're aiming for. That's why I like it, is because you get that security of like, okay, but can they all hit their mid lines? Okay, well then we're 10xing. But you want that upside. All right, so let's get into some bonus plays here. This is the DFS optimizer from Daily Grind. I've got it set to Prizepicks, and I've got it set to all overs, and I've got it set to just tonight's game. So these are the plays that it likes to go over. If you're unfamiliar with the DFS optimizer, it's an awesome tool for daily fantasy like Prizepicks and Underdog. It scans all of the markets, looks at what all of the lines are at, and looks at the odds. What are the odds makers saying? And then it compares it to the platform that you're using. You can see right up here, you can select any platform that you can think of, and then it'll compare it for you and say, this line, we'd like to go over or under. So I have it set to just overs because the correlation kills you on Prizepicks if you take unders, but go with your gut. So Jordan Love, they like his pass plus rushing yards over 242.5. 54%, that's their top over. Jake Elliott, they like him for 6.5 kicking points, 54%, so right up there tied with the Jordan Love play. Saquon Barkley, they like his rushing plus receiving, I do too. I thought about taking that because he is a good pass catcher, and he is just, when the ball's in his hand, anything can happen. So if you want to attach those, go for it. He just hasn't been as active in the passing game as of the last couple of weeks. So I'm just taking the rushing yards, but I'll probably make a slip where I take the rushing plus receiving too. The optimizer likes it, 53%. And then so we got Brandon McManus kicking points. So they're liking both kickers in this game. Dallas Goedert, 33.5 receiving yards. Yeah, it could end up being the type of thing where he does get involved. He's just a little bit volatile, so you just don't know when it's going to be a Goddard type night. When they went nuts, when Smith and Brown went nuts against Minnesota, I was certain that it was going to be a Dallas Goedert night, and he got like one target. And so that's football, you know. I obviously don't get these reads right a lot of the time, but I'm doing my best. And I mean, NBA, I think NBA is like a little bit more easier to predict because you don't necessarily have to get into the mind of like, how is this coach going to decide to do things? You know, there's not like some random bench guy who in the NBA, the coach is just going to be like, you know what, let's have that dude be the center of what we're doing, you know. But with football, it's a little bit different. So back to the plays. Jordan Love, they like his pass attempts over 31.5, 52.47% odds to hit. Jalen Hurts pass attempts, so they like both pass attempts. You could take both of these without getting into any correlation problems if you wanted to just make a little 2-man and get a little 3x or whatever it is. Barkley rush attempts 17.5, 52.3%. Let's see here. Jordan Love longest rush 7.5. Yeah, I mean, like, I love quarterback rushing props, especially because it doesn't affect your correlation. So you could take a bunch of other guys from the team and it's not going to like penalize you. But in this case, I don't know why you wouldn't just take his rushing yards. We'll have to see what that line's at. But 7.5, they like it over 52%. Jalen Hurts rush attempts, they think he's rushing the ball at least 8 times tonight, 52%. Jordan Love fantasy score 15.5. Christian Watson over 2.5. Now, yeah, if you wanted to take those receptions instead of the receiving yards, do it, guys. I mean, like any of these, like I'm diving into the data and showing you guys what I'm taking, but I'm diving into the data so you can make your own decision, just like breaking that stuff down for you guys. DeVonta Smith, they like his receptions at 4.5 as well. We got DeVonta Smith receiving yards. They like that as well. So yeah, pretty similar here. Yeah, Pinnacle does have the receptions with just a little bit more juice. So if you want that, there you go. Christian Watson fantasy score. His fantasy score is at 7.5. That looks good too. There is a lot here. There's a lot to be excited about tonight. We got a defensive play. Keyshawn Nixon, tackle plus assist. I say that like I don't say that guy's name very often. But yeah, 4.5 tackles plus assists. They like that. 51.29%. Jalen Hurts, they also like his longest rush, 11.5. Saquon Barkley receiving yards, 14.5. And they like his longest reception over 9.5. So there you go. Let's dive into some Underdog. And if you guys want this for yourself, code Backdoor gets you 25% off for as long as you want to lock that in. So you can lock it in for the rest of the NFL season. It's amazing for basketball. So if you want to lock it in through all NBA, it's up to you, but use that code Backdoor. You'll get 25% off. All right, so Underdog, the plays that the optimizer likes for Underdog if you're already on that platform. We've got Jalen Hurts rushing yards. They like it 29.5. They like it over. That does seem low for him for sure. Just under 54%. They got it at a minus 137. Pinnacle has the 26.5 at a minus 180. So 3 yards difference, and they've got it all the way up at a minus 180. So that is looking pretty solid. Let's see. I was just thinking like, man, they might have Jalen Hurts rushing yards over on the ladders options too, but I think that top tier would probably be pretty high. I thought that about Jackson Dart though yesterday, and I didn't go with it, and the dude ended up just, I don't know how many yards he ended with, but he was running the ball like every play. All right, Jordan Love pass attempts, they also like it on Underdog. Jalen Hurts, so they like both of these. They must be at the same line, I'm guessing. 31.5, 26.5, yeah. So they like it on Underdog as well, obviously. So the receptions are on Underdog as well for DeVonta Smith, 4.5. They like it. Jalen Hurts passing yards, 195.5. They got it at a 52% odds to hit. Christian Watson, we got those 2.5 receptions on Underdog as well, about 52%. They like his receiving yards, so 40.5. What did we get it at on Prizepicks? 42.5. So you are getting it cheaper on Underdog for these Watson receiving yards. Romeo Doubs, longest reception, 20.5, 51.26. I like that they like that over. I'm probably not going to take that versus just his regular receiving yards, but it's a good sign if the odds makers like him to have at least one catch for 21. Jalen Hurts, longest rush, 11.5. They like it. There's Keyshawn Nixon again, 4.5 tackles plus assists. Josh Jacobs, we haven't said his name much in this video. 18.5 receiving yards. They like it. They like it over. 51.3%. Christian Watson fantasy score. It is cheaper on Underdog, but keep in mind, Underdog is half point PPR. Prizepicks is full point PPR. I know all of you know what that means, but just in case you don't, it means for every catch, you either get 1 point per catch or a half a point per catch. So if it's full point PPR and you have a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's probably going to get, or Jamar Chase, who's also going to get the yards too. But guys like that get a bunch of receptions, it stacks up quick in full point PPR. DeVonta Smith, longest reception, 20.5. They like it. Josh Jacobs, longest rush, 13.5. That seems kind of low for him. I don't know why. Josh Jacobs this year for daily fantasy, I've never been inclined to take a chance on it, probably because of like the in and out of injuries, the play style, but he's obviously capable of having monster nights. Dallas Goedert receiving yards. So it's at 35.5. I believe we said it was at 33.5 on Prizepicks. No, 36.5. So it is a little bit cheaper on Underdog if you want to jump into the Goedert receiving yards. Emmanuel Wilson. Okay, so what is his line at? 28.5 rushing plus receiving. He's been getting more work this year, for sure, than he did last year. So that is kind of low. Jordan Love, longest rush, 7.5. AJ Brown, receiving yards, 56.5 on Underdog. What did we get it at? 57.5. So it looks like all these lines are a little bit cheaper on Underdog for the most part. Emmanuel Wilson, 8.5, longest rush. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about that, again, these longest rushes, a lot of times I think it's just worth it to take just the regular rushing yards if they're a guy who's not projected to do a lot anyways. Jordan Love pass plus rushing yards, 247.5. Let's check this one too. Yeah, it's up at 249.5. So yeah, everything is cheaper right now for this game. Jalen Hurts pass completions, 18.5. They like it. We're getting down to the 50-50s now. Jordan Love rushing yards, 10.5. Yeah, so see, I would take the 10.5 rushing yards versus the longest rush of 7.5, but that's just me. Because obviously he could have one rush in the whole game and goes for 8 yards or 9 yards or 10 yards, and this doesn't cash. So you are taking that risk, but I would rather have everything just in case he doesn't have any long rushes personally. Jalen Hurts pass plus rush yards, 232.5. It is cheaper on Prizepicks for this one, 231.5. It's only 1 yard, but still, we're kind of keeping track a little bit. Romeo Doubs, 53.5 receiving yards, and we got it at 50. So yeah, well, no, it's up at 53.5. So I think we did get that one at 52.5, but it's at 53.5. I still like it on both platforms personally. AJ Brown, longest reception, 22.5, and Saquon Barkley receiving yards at 15.5. I believe we said that was at 14.5 on Prizepicks. Yeah. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you guys have a great Monday. I'm going to be getting back into NBA soon this week. I promise you. I just have like some important testing stuff that I have to get done that's time sensitive. So I'm trying to still hit you with the NFL videos. But as soon as I get in the clear with my testing, I'm going to jump right back into NBA because NBA is absolutely where it's at for daily fantasy. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you have a great week, and I will catch you in the next video.